Okay, so like I said in class, do a quick tour of Zoom here. It looked like everybody was able to log on, so at least the basics are there. Hopefully, I got the app here. If you click the direct link, it'll go to a web page and download a smaller version of the app. If you have it installed, you should be looking at something like this. You'll see the main ones. You'll see a button that says Join. So you click that and just enter the ID for the meeting there. Oh, and something I've noticed, if all you have is the direct link, if you copy and paste the whole direct link in there, this will automatically cut off the part that it doesn't need and just show the meeting ID. Just let you know that. So you type the numbers in there. I don't remember what they are off the top of my head to type them in, so I'm going to go over to this other place to start it. But the second tab here is the chat. So any meeting you're in, you can save the chat from it. So if people post links or something in the chat and you want to keep them around, just make sure you save the chat and you'll find it here. There's a contact list. I assume everybody in our society has used a contact list somewhere before. It should be a lot like your phone or your email or any other contact list you've had, if you want to make use of that in the Zoom one specifically. Or I'm going to click on meetings because I don't remember the number to start it. But this number right here, this is what you would copy and paste into that join thing. And I have it put on IVYT in a couple places. So, or if you lose track of it, just let me know and I can send you a copy of it. I'm going to go ahead and start the meeting this way so we can see what Zoom's looks like. It's loading up. Mine is set to automatically start audio and video as soon as I log on. I found that very useful instead of having to click the button myself. Wow, there's a lag on the video. I'm going to stop the video here. Okay, the video on Zoom was behind the video, the narration on the screencast. So I was going to stop that. This button can be really useful. If you click that, you can see the list of who's there. And you might also want to have the chat room open. It's just a basic chat room. Just type your message, say something here. And you can decide whether everybody gets to see it or narrow it down to just a single person that is at the meeting. There are some other buttons, kind of like, like buttons, applause. There's a raise hand button. I don't see it here for some reason, but maybe it's because I'm the host. If you're not the host, you should see a button to raise hand for asking questions, taking a break. Those should be fairly straightforward. It's a good idea to keep the chat open, I've found. You can see some other stuff, different, the reaction buttons over here. If you ever host a meeting and need to broadcast it, it's synced up with Facebook already, or record the meeting buttons are here, and our meetings will be recorded this semester. Or sometimes there's little subrooms, so that if there's a bunch of people at the meeting, you can split up into different rooms. There's the button for that. Some of the main ones, I guess I'll start with share screen. So this is going to be one you use a lot, the share screen button. And you can choose to share a whiteboard that's built in or one of the apps that's running. Hopefully this isn't going to mess up the video. Actually, I'm going to pause the video and render this down just in case that clicking this messes up that video. That would have two applications sharing the screen at the same time. Okay, as I was saying, you can choose which application you want to share, just a particular window to share, or a little whiteboard so you can write messages, or just share the whole screen. I'll just share the screen for now. And you'll see you still have some things down here. And the main one I wanted to point out is your menu will change and you'll have some other buttons. I only have one, but there's this annotate button. That's very useful because once the screen's being shared, you can open this up and kind of write write stuff on the screen that's being shared. And that is a very useful thing. Clear that. I mostly wanted to point at that button because that is an incredibly useful one. The best way to learn, I think, is just to click around and try things. So you'll want to do that some. I just wanted to point you towards some important buttons. Oh, and here in the chat room, I forgot to point this out. Here's the buttons to save the chat if you need to do that at some point. Next to the thing that says file, where we usually see a save button at. But click around and look at stuff. The other thing I wanted to look at, the main thing, on either one of these arrows, either by the microphone or by the video will work. You click on that. There's some test stuff. You might want to, do that occasionally just to see if it works. It's like, do you hear your ringtone? And talk, and it'll repeat it. Just make sure the mic and speakers are working. But there's this thing, audio settings, and there's lots of different ways to get to settings. It's just they kind of lead to different places. So here's our general settings thing. Obviously, the audio ones, you can make adjustments. Video one, that's going to be important. It clicks over. So you can set up the camera, which camera is being used. You mirror the video because we're always used to seeing ourselves in the video, so the mirror is only on your screen. We're used to seeing our reflection, so when we look at ourselves straight on, it seems backwards after a lifetime of seeing our reflection. The touch-up button can be useful. That's a filter. It's not as nice as some of the ones you'll see on Instagram or Snapchat. Definitely not like the Snapchat filters, but the little Instagram filters to the basic touch-up stuff, which almost counts as makeup for so many people in our society. They're so common, right? That's just those filters are just another layer of makeup when people are getting ready, I guess. But that's where that button is. A lot of people are interested. Definitely want to click that. And different things you can read through there. Virtual backgrounds. Sometimes these work better than others, depending on how solid it is, or if your clothes match the background. Try different backgrounds. What I did for the times that I used that is I actually hang a curtain up behind me. I have a dark gray curtain to hang up, so that way there's a solid color behind, and they work better for that. Options for recording it. You can kind of put a profile together, kind of like everything else. A picture is nice. Since we're not in a classroom, I certainly wouldn't mind seeing pictures of everybody. That way I know who you are. That way I can say hi when I see you in the hall when we're back at school. Some general settings you can read through there, see if there's anything you want to adjust. Settings, like I pointed out earlier, to automatically start the camera and microphone. That way you don't have to click buttons. And the last thing I was going to point out here is these, since you're probably going to be using Zoom a lot, might be useful to look through this list of the keyboard shortcuts and see the quick way to do it for a lot of the common things. That can be useful. But I always say the best way to learn is just click around and try things. So if that's what you want to do, you just kind of click, look around. That's where some of the buttons are. But if you have any questions about using Zoom, just let me know. I just wanted to do a quick pass here and kind of show you where some stuff is. And then when you're done, obviously hit end and leave the meeting when you're finished. So if you have any questions, just let me know. That was just a quick pass, kind of getting you started. You might want to click around on some things and look and see what you can find, see which features you'll want to use. But I'll see everybody on Wednesday.